Well, we're back. Yeah, it's been a while. After the challenges of trying to get the carriage lighting to work and failing rather dismally, or at least failing to be able to keep the train on the track with it working, yeah, got a bit sort of disenchanted, I guess, and so not done very much. Finished off that warehouse building that I think I showed you, and I sort of thought today perhaps it's time to actually do something and carry on. And what I think I'm going to look at is putting some static grass around this area here, where, if you recall, I remodeled the curves and raised this board up, so it needs tidying up. As you can probably see, I've put some masking tape on the actual track itself just to keep the static grass off it, keep glue off it, make it a little bit easier to tidy up afterwards. Anyway, so going to go and find a glue, paintbrush, static grass and stuff, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Right, so got the paintbrush, got the PVA glue mixed with water, and ready to start. I think what I'll do is I'll start over the far side here, this little area, fill in some of the gaps where it got damaged when I had to take that board out. Just touch up a little bit, and then we'll move on to this side of the track. I found a reasonably good coat of PVA with water, gives something for the static grass to stick to, and it's relatively easy to paint on. So I've got a decent coat down there, and then we'll just carry on around the edge here where it got, a lot of the grass got taken away when the fencing and stuff got pulled up. So I'll just sort of put little bits in some of the places where it got damaged, and a bit at the far edge as well where a lot got. I had to dig away the grass to try and find the screws that hold the board down in order to remove the board. So that's what that damage is. And of course, could you remember where the screws were? Could you find them? No. So hence the amount of damage. Quite a lot around this bit actually that needs doing. I might sort of put the static grass on the first bit and then come back to this possibly in a minute. Let's see how long it's going to take to get this glue on. Probably okay. It does take a little while to dry, so before it goes off. Okay. I think that'll do for our first lot of glue. And now to get the applicator. Standard pico-static applicator. Check the battery works, it seems to. So let's have a little go. Of course, where we find that we haven't got very much in there. I'll get some more in a minute. Just try and get into some of those. Okay, that looks like that's empty, so fill it up before we do that bit around there. Okay, so applicator refilled. Let's do the bit over here. quite a good workout having to shake the applicator. For those of you who remember it, Maxwell House and shaking the coffee jar adverts, you know, it's a bit like that, isn't it, really? So let's get a reasonably good thick layer on. It's always difficult to tell how thick it is and how much is sticking because the sort of glue shows through. And it sort of looks a bit odd until it does dry and then you vacuum it up. Okay, so that's the bit around there. So now do a bit around here, and here I've got quite a few little patches to do. So I'm going to start around the corner here, filling this bit. I've got a bit around the back of where the little building goes, which you might be able to see the screw for the static grass earthing. So I'm going to do that a little bit first, and then probably do a little bit more around here. So on with the gluing. So here the track bed moved quite a bit as I eased out the curve. You remember I was having problems with derailments on this curve, partly because it was a vertical curve as well as a horizontal curve, which wasn't good, and partly because it was quite tight and a few of the wagons and coaches just didn't really like it. With the alterations to the layout to bring it level, took the opportunity to spread the curve out, and that's improved it quite a lot, and it seems to all run reasonably well now. We'll try and get the train running a little bit later on for you. Just put a bit of glue in there. Okay, that's that bit. Just do this little bit here, which again was another exploration looking for a screw hole. Did find it eventually, but ended up with quite a lot of grass missing beforehand. So I'll just expand a little bit into this bit so that we can just keep going. In fact, since it's going quite well, I'll just keep going. So I'll just turn off for a moment and then come back when I start grassing. So, spread all the glue, quite a big area now. So it's time for the grass, and I've put the glue safely out of the way. How many times have you knocked over the glue pot? Okay, so let's start at the back. So sort of patching in bits where it got damaged or where the track bed moved. Good old shake. Fill in this little bit here. Try and blend it in. All over there as well. It's a little bit. Okay, right. So go for this bit. It always makes quite a mess when you're doing this. And we are empty again. I need some more. Just going to refill. So recharged, switch on, and off we go. So it's almost difficult because you can see the lines of glue through it, and you're never sure whether that's a good coverage or not, or whether it's just the sort of glue, the wet patches showing a bit more. So I'll just give a good coating. Okay, I think that will do us. Okay, so that's the grass now touched up or replaced for the whole of this corner piece. So I'm going to let that dry now for a good hour or two, and then I'll get the vacuum out and suck up all the loose bits, and then I can peel off the tape, and then hopefully we'll perhaps get a train running round for you. See you in a bit. Well, welcome back. Hopefully the glue is dried. In the meantime, the GoPro decided it needed to do a firmware update, so that's just taken a few moments, but hopefully now everything is working. So I'm going to get the vacuum and start clearing up some of the surplus grass. What I tend to do is just hold the vacuum just above the surface, not rub it down, and that normally works. So might be a bit of noise. So one of these rechargeable handheld vacuums, very useful for this sort of job. It's not too powerful, so it doesn't rip everything up, but it is pretty good. And the great thing is it catches everything, and then you can tip it back into the box and reuse it. Now I'm just going to leave that for a little bit longer to dry, because I've just noticed that as I started vacuuming, a few bits were coming off, so I'm probably going to have to go back and touch up. So we'll leave it at that and come back another time. Back next morning, and hopefully all the grass is now dried, so I'm going to go over it with the vacuum, just trying to hold it off the actual surface and pick up the loose bits. So it looks like most of the loose bits soaked up, so time to, well, there's bits on the track just here, just do that. One problem with static grass, if it gets stuff left on the track, then it gets sucked up into the wheels and the axles and round in the gears and stuff, so it's not good for the locomotives. So let's just peel off the tape. well just run round with the vacuum again, just to got more width tape there. Let's do them. Okay. Just run around the vacuum just to make sure there's nothing left under the tape. Okay, so little building can go back, and the windmill. Bit close to the track now, actually. Might need to look at moving it back a bit. So I might do that before too long. Could just put a bit of fill that in with some earth, and then I can move it back a bit, and it can just yeah. Anyway, at the moment it can sit there. Looks nice. Good. Right, let's try and get a train running. Right, well, we've got 2 trains ready. Let's see what happens. We're going to start with the Class 37 on the passenger train, run that round, and following it will be the Class 20 on the freight train. Let's just hope that they work. I haven't cleaned the track, so there may be a few large hands of God coming in to help them on their way. So you may have noticed the freight train's got a little bit shorter. Seem to have lost a few wagons somewhere, so need to go and investigate. So in the depths underneath the terminus, we've got the rest of the train. It looks like the magnetic coupling has come out of the NEM pocket on one of the wagons. Possibly one of the wagons derailed and then it just pulled out. So I'm going to send the Class 20 back and we'll pick that up. So having recoupled the freight train, it should now be coming up around the scenic section at the far side. So there we go, a couple of train runs round, not as bad as could have been expected. Track does need a good clean though. Probably the best way is just to run quite a few trains around. So hope you enjoyed that, and we'll be back shortly to do a bit more of the grass on this board around here and do some of the scenery. Keep wondering what to put on this side, wondering about some houses or something to make it look a bit more interesting. Perhaps get some terraced houses. I'll have to think about that. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now.